Most people think emotional avoidance is a behavior, something they do, a habit they developed, a coping strategy they learned. And in the beginning, that is often true. But when emotional avoidance continues for years, something deeper can happen. The behavior slowly becomes part of identity. What once served as protection begins shaping the way a person understands themselves. At first, emotional distance may simply feel safer. Vulnerability feels uncomfortable. Trust feels risky. Dependence feels dangerous. Keeping emotional walls in place seems easier than facing the uncertainty that intimacy requires. Over time, these patterns become familiar, and what is familiar often starts feeling normal. The person may stop seeing emotional avoidance as something they do. Instead, they begin seeing it as who they are. They tell themselves things like, "I'm just not an emotional person. I prefer being alone. I do not need anyone. I have always been this way." The more these beliefs are repeated, the more deeply they become integrated into self-perception. Eventually, vulnerability no longer feels like a skill that can be learned. It begins feeling incompatible with identity itself. This is where emotional avoidance becomes especially powerful, because people naturally protect their identity. When vulnerability challenges a behavior, change feels possible. When vulnerability challenges identity, change feels threatening. The person is no longer protecting themselves from emotional discomfort. They are protecting the image they have built of who they are. As a result, emotional distance becomes easier to justify. Relationships remain limited. Emotional expression stays restricted. Intimacy continues feeling unnatural. Not because connection is unwanted, but because emotional closeness seems inconsistent with the identity that has been constructed over time. Yet beneath that identity, the original desire for connection often still exists. The need for trust still exists. The need for understanding still exists. The need for emotional safety still exists. The difference is that years of avoidance have gradually convinced the person that these needs are less important than emotional self-protection. This creates a painful identity conflict. Part of them wants closeness. Part of them believes closeness is not meant for them. Part of them wants emotional connection. Part of them identifies with emotional distance. And the longer this conflict continues, the harder it becomes to separate genuine identity from long-term protection. Which is why emotional avoidance can become more than a coping strategy. It can become a lens through which someone interprets relationships, vulnerability, and themselves. And until that distinction becomes visible, emotional self-protection may continue defining identity long after it stops serving its original purpose.